Hey guys, what is going on? Jurgen from ZurGrinoSports here, and today I'm coming at you with the 2021 April 16th. I said that weird. I should have said it the other way. April 16th, 2021 Smackdown review. I'm getting this out the next day. I usually do the Smackdown reviews night of, but I had to go to work, obviously, yesterday on the Friday, and I got like 2 hours of sleep in the night, so I was having a shit day. I was exhausted, so as soon as SmackDown was done, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go pass out. And then when I woke up, I had shit to do and errands and whatnot. You know what I mean? Life stinks, but you know, we coming at you with that review eventually. Let me know what you guys thought of SmackDown down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? If you'd like to join the Discord server for the channel, link in the description. And at the end of the review, if you liked the review, leave a like and subscribe. You know, all that good shit. But without further ado, let's get into the review. And we'll just do a preliminary thing. Pat McAfee is who replaced Corey Graves on SmackDown commentary. Obviously, Corey Graves replaced Joe on Raw commentary. A video will be out today about those releases, I hope. I'm going to record it today. I hope I get it out today as well. Because there's a lot to say about the talent they let go because, yeah, I'll save it for that video, but don't worry about it. That is coming, so stay tuned for that. I don't know if it'll come out before this. I don't know if it'll come out after this. I don't know, but it will come out today or will already be out. Anyways, Pat McAfee is on SmackDown commentary. 20 minutes in, I loved his commentary already. I read a report after the show that they're just willing to let him be him on commentary. And the reason I like him so much about commentary, is he's not trying to put himself over. He's trying to put the talent over. He does it in a good way, and he doesn't sound overproduced because they're just letting him be him. So anytime he's like, hey, wow, look how good that person is, it feels authentic. It doesn't feel like the company is trying to get you to like who they want you to like and this and that and this and that. You know what I mean? So it just feels authentic. He's like, hey, look, they're very good. Oh, hey, look, they're very good because they do this. And oh, they did that. So 20 minutes in, I was like, oh, this guy's goated. This guy's goated as a commentator. But anyways, so I'm liking Pat McAfee. Michael Cole is still a Vince puppet, so there's a ceiling to how good / not shit Michael Cole can be because it's not Michael Cole. Michael Cole is literally just a voice box for Vince McMahon on air. So there's only so much Cole can do. But yeah, man, we had a Roman promo to start off the show. He says, it's not a secret, he put a lot of eyes on SmackDown, but for the new viewers, explain who I beat at WrestleMania. Paul Heyman gets on the thing. He puts over Edge, this and that, married to a Hall of Famer. He is himself a Hall of Famer, this and that. Daniel Bryan's a Daniel Bryan married to a Hall of Famer, soon to be surefire Hall of Famer when he retires, and that should be soon because of what you did to him, blah, blah, blah. So whenever Paul Heyman cuts a promo, there's a backstage interview with Paul Heyman. Whenever Paul Heyman cuts a promo, I don't even bother to write down what he says because he speaks so quick and there's so much shit that he does well that I wouldn't be able to keep up. So basically, Paul Heyman does what Paul Heyman does best, puts everything over. He put over Edge and Bryan to then put Roman over, and he called the match essentially a handicap match to put Roman over. He's like, yo, I mean, you beat two Hall of Famers in what was essentially a handicap match, dude. You're fucking good. So just like Paul Heyman is at the promos, brother. So yeah, we had a Roman promo starting off, and then Paul Heyman explains things, and then Roman gets back on the mic. He's like, yo, I called my shot. I smashed them. I stacked them, and I pinned them, and then they acknowledged me. I told y'all on my predictions, after his promo, I thought he'd win. And look what happened. I'm so happy they made him win. I said it in the review video for WrestleMania. I'm so happy they made him win, bruh. What an awful decision it would have been if they had Edge win, which was apparently the decision up until very late. So, anyways, we got so he says he called his shot, blah blah blah, and he says, it's embarrassing, they'll never put me in a match like that again. You know what I mean? Who would want to be in there? No one wants to face me. If I could do what I did to Hall of Famers, who would want it next? There's nobody on my level. And then he says, listen, Paul, we completed our obligation. I opened my show. Tell the people to cut the checks, start up the jet. We're out of here. Cesaro's music hits, which made me very upset. I almost said upset. Very excited. Very happy. You know what I mean? Elated, to quote Rusev. But anyways, yeah. So Cesaro comes out. My stream that I was watching on took a shit as soon as Cesaro came out. I think he broke. Twitter also went down when he came out. I feel like Cesaro just broke the internet a little bit. So yeah. So I didn't see what happened live in time. By the time my stream was back up and running, it was the next segment, which we'll get to. I went back on YouTube to see what I missed, and basically it was Cesaro coming out. He gets into the ring. He's in a suit. He stares down Roman. He gets in his face. Then he goes to grab a mic from the crew, and then while he goes to grab the mic, Roman's like, fuck this, nah, and then leaves with Paul and Jay. And then when Cesaro turns around, he sees them leaving. He's like, oh, okay, they don't want to hear what I have to say. So I don't know if there's another thing that I missed after that, or if it was just a commercial between that and what happened next. But what I came back to was Pierce and Sonya talking backstage, and Cesaro pulls them aside. I was like, "Hey, did you see what he did? Do you see what he did? That son of a bitch disrespected me. Blah blah blah." I found it really funny because Cesaro called him a son of a bitch, and then Pierce and Sonya were like, "Oh," and he's like, "Yeah," and then he went on with his promo. I loved it. It was just like, I don't know. I think maybe he just put that in there to put that in there, and then that actually caught them off guard. I don't know. But yeah, no, Cesaro's great. He says, it doesn't even have to be for the title, but I want a match with Roman Reigns tonight. Pierce starts to say, that's a good idea. Let's do it, before Sonya cuts off and says, hey, let me talk to Roman, I can't speak today for some reason. Roman, and then I'll let you know what he says, kind of thing. And then Cesaro's like, okay, and then walks away. And then Pierce is like, you know what I mean? So they're playing up the whole Sonya heel turn, Sonya undermining Pierce kind of thing, whatever. Then we have Otis versus Ray. I feel like I guarantee you that I saw Ray make at least 2 Instagram posts, or maybe I saw the same post twice, about them doing a tag match this week, and then it was a singles, Otis versus Ray. They did a tail of the tape for Otis versus Ray, which is interesting. And then we had this match. Ray hits the 619 near the end of the match, goes to the corner. With the camera zoomed in on Ray, you can see Ray mouthing, what the fuck? Because I guess Otis got up really quick and shit, and he's like, oh, what the fuck? He jumps onto Otis's shoulders. Otis tries to do something, but Ray uses the momentum and does a crucifix pin, 1, 2, 3, defeats Otis clean in the ring. The match was fine for the time that it was allotted. It was a short SmackDown match, and more specifically, a short TV match. It's not gonna blow your socks off. That's not the intention, right? The intention is to go get a win for the person, advance the storyline, what have you. And it did that, so that's fine. The thing that's kind of weird to me is that I feel like, I honestly don't really care. Whoever wins this match, I couldn't care less. But it's weird that they were protecting Otis in tags, right, with having Gable take the pins in tags, to then just have Otis lose clean. And I mean, it's to Ray, so it doesn't make you look that bad to lose clean to Ray. Ray's if Ray retires tomorrow, he's in the Hall of Fame the next day. You know what I mean? They talk to him the next day. If Ray shows up tomorrow to WWE headquarters and goes to Vince, he's like, hey, Vince, I'm retiring. The next day, he'll get a call from Vince saying, hey, we're putting you in the Hall of Fame next year. All right, cool, take it easy. Right? Ray, the moment he decides he's done is the moment he gets in the Hall of Fame. He's that good. So, it doesn't bury you or anything like that to lose clean to Rey Mysterio, because it's Rey fucking Mysterio. It's just very interesting to me that they protected Otis in tags to then just have him lose to a crucifix pin clean to Rey. You know what I mean? So just a weird thing. Maybe they wanted to push Otis and then they were like, let's not do that and whatever. But yeah, there's nothing here for me to really complain about, because Rey getting a win over Otis getting a win over Rey, it doesn't really matter. It's building to the tag feud. I mean, it's whatever. If Dominic would have beat Otis, I think that's a little bit of cause for concern, because I don't think Dominic should be beating anybody clean, really. I feel like he got a clean win over Corbin, which I really complained about because I didn't think he should be winning clean singles matches. So if Dominic would have beat Otis clean, then I would have probably been like, hey, you've been burying Gable in tags to fucking, not burying per se, but you've been having Gable take the falls in tag matches to protect Otis just to have him lose clean to Dominic, who's been doing this like not even a year yet officially, right? I mean, training for more than a year, but like his first match was SummerSlam last year, right? So it is what it is. But yeah, so no complaints really. I just think I just wanted to bring up that it's weird that they protected Otis so much in the tags to have him just lose clean in the singles. But it advances the feud. They have like a mini feud going on. They had a mini feud going into the Fatal 4-Way tag match, and then they have a mini feud, I guess, coming out of it to see who's the next contenders for the titles and, what have you. So, yeah, no complaints there. Just thought it was weird. Maybe just a change of direction in creative or backstage or whatever the fuck. Maybe they were like, you know what? We thought Otis was more than he was. We're realizing now he's not what we thought he was. And that's not to say that Otis isn't good. Like, it's not me saying, hey, Otis isn't this and that. It's just me thinking, because they gave Otis the Money in the Bank. You can't forget, right? Which I will say, for me, awful decision. I think I've said it many times, but for me, I'm saying he's not a main event guy, so why give him the Money in the Bank? But I feel like at this point they're like, okay, yeah, we had it wrong in our heads what we wanted to do with him, so now we're correcting. I don't know if that is what it is. That's just presumption. But yeah, then we had a Paul interview backstage on whether or not Roman Reigns would accept Cesaro's challenge tonight. Paul Heyman cut his promo. He did really well to waffle on. He talks about how Cesaro looks like a Neanderthal, bucktooth, all this shit, blah blah blah. $billion body with a 10-cent brain. He said he said that Cesaro would be a physical, athletic. He said that, like, pretty much in the ring, he would be a decent matchup for Roman, but he's not an attraction. So he's not going to get Roman, but he didn't say that outright. He said he's going to get what he wants. Tonight, he's going to get a match in the main event against the main event Jey Uso. And I was excited for that because, I mean, Jey and Cesaro, fuck. Good. Give them time. Good. And we got that match later on in the night. We'll talk about that when we get there. We had a Sami promo where he talks about how all the headlines at Mania are about Logan getting stunned, but not for Sami, who was once again screwed. The stars were supposed to align at WrestleMania. Logan was supposed to help him and support him uncover the conspiracy, but his head was poisoned by Kevin Owens, by Michael Cole, by the media, by the staff, by this and that. And Kevin Owens won because Sami was worried about Logan. But, he won't be denied his vindication and his retribution in his rematch tonight. He's asking Kevin Owens to come out tonight because nothing's there to distract him. Logan's not there to distract him. Toxic fans aren't there to distract him. And that's why Kevin Owens won't come out, because there's no excuse. Boom, Kevin Owens' music hits. He gets out. Commercial, we come back. It's made official. Kevin Owens versus Sami. Sami gets counted out to lose the match. The match was fine for a SmackDown match. I mean, they hit some of the big moves like that the thing that Kevin Owens does where he kind of gets you up in like a suplex brainbuster position, but like kind of cradles you into a neck breaker. I don't know what the fuck that's called, but it looks devastating every fucking time he does it, and I love it. Like, he pulled that out. But eventually, basically, he ends up winning the match with Sammy intentionally getting counted out to like back away from Kevin Owens during the match kind of thing. And then Kevin Owens chases him down, beats him up, gets him in the ring, and stunners him. The booking for this one confused me. Why are you going to do a rematch of Mania if the same person's going to win and they're just going to win in a different way? And it's not like a title rematch or anything, right? Because if it's a title rematch and you don't want your title rematch, because like if you have the rematch clause, for example, if you're like in 2004 and somebody wins at Mania and you're like, okay, this is the end of this rivalry, I want the new champion to move on to bigger and better things, and you don't want the next pay-per-view to have the same rivalry, then boom, rematch clause next night, he retains, boom, there, it's done, right? So I feel like that makes sense for a rematch the night, the show after WrestleMania. But having it like this, just randomly with such a weird count-out finish, I'm sure Sammy will be able to explain it well enough. It was just awkward. So I don't really understand. My hope for this whole Kevin Owens and Sammy thing is that they're going to form a tag team. And maybe they just have like, how would they do? You would have two ways to do the tag team, right? The one way would be to turn Sammy face by having maybe like a Kevin Owens like kind of intervention kind of thing with Sammy at some point, or maybe like Kevin Owens beats Sammy to death like over and over again to the point Sammy kind of like approaches him in the locker room and Kevin Owens like, oh, how many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man, you know? Shout out SpongeBob. Did I say SpongeBob? What the fuck is wrong with me? SpongeBob, obviously. What the fuck, dude? Anyways, you know, either Sammy gets it truly beaten into him that he's not being conspired against, and then he's like, you know, I'm sorry, I've went back and reviewed everything. You're right. There's no conspiracy. I've just been dropping the ball. I'm thankful that you made me see that. I'm wondering if you would be able to, you know, help me get back to where I was. You and I could team up the right way kind of thing. And then you do a face tag team with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You could do that, or you could do Kevin Owens seeing little bits and pieces of conspiracy against Sammy and then being like, oh, you know, I was beating the fuck out of you because there was no conspiracy, but I'm noticing it every week. There's more and more conspiracy. And then you turn Kevin Owens heel, right? I'm hoping that the direction is them teaming up. Those are the two ways that I could see it happening. There are very clearly many, many ways to do everything in wrestling, so there are ways that I haven't thought of course. But I just hope that that's the direction they go, is them teaming up. Whether it be Sammy dropping the conspiracy and then going with Kevin Owens, or Kevin Owens joining the conspiracy. I would prefer Kevin Owens joining the conspiracy because I think Sammy's fantastic in the conspiracy role, and I think Kevin Owens would be as well. But yeah, just this match, the booking of the finish just didn't make sense to me. I feel like it felt like there was a botch, and then they were just kind of like, you know what, just fucking call it, just abandon the match and then get it done with. You know what I mean? It just didn't feel. It didn't feel like that was supposed to happen, and I don't think that's a good thing. So I'm going to move on. It wasn't like terrible. It wasn't like I was like, what the fuck? It just felt so weird and awkward. Then we had an Apollo backstage promo where he talks about how Nigeria has not stopped celebrating since he smashed Big E and won the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. He would give Big E a rematch, but Big E is not here, and that's because of two words, the Nigerian nail. He shows replay of how Dabba-Kato, who has a new gimmick now, and I'll get to it in a second, did the Samoan Spike, or I guess the Nigerian nail, that, you know, Umaga used to do. I can't believe I forgot Umaga's name, dude. Umaga used to do, and then he chokeslammed Big E, right? So they show replay of Mania, and then he's like, this is Commander Aziz, a former Nigerian elite guard, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. So we got an Apollo backstage promo. You know, he took credit for beating Big E, which I like. And yeah, man, I mean, it puts over Commander Aziz, that Big E wasn't there as a result of his attack, because all he did was the nail, the Nigerian nail, and the chokeslam, right? So it puts over Commander Aziz huge. Excuse me, I'm yawning. I'm sorry. It puts over Commander Aziz huge if if Big E misses out on a week of TV because of his fairly mundane attack. You know what I mean? He just did moves. He didn't attack him with anything. He didn't put him through anything. He didn't do this or that. He just attacked him with moves. So it puts over the moves and himself as being devastating. So I like it. Then we had a Profits and Bianca title celebration. The Profits are talking about how it's take back season. The cups are high, not only because they're going to get their tag titles back, but also because of the SmackDown women's title match at WrestleMania. Bianca talks about how when you demand greatness from yourself, things like this happen. Everybody has some EST in them. She thanks Sasha for being a great opponent, essentially. And she says, hey, in case you forget, I left you something to remember me by. And then she says that her title is for all the little girls who saw themselves in Bianca. She's just getting started with creating history. And then she's like, okay, now you guys go win your titles because, there's only gold in this house to Montez. And then they celebrate the title. So just standard, championship celebration, promo, thanking everybody, and then, there you go. She put herself over. And she said that's not, arrogance, that's not cockiness, it's just, being confident in how good you are, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, just standard, good. Bianca got her win, which is great. She gets a week to celebrate it, and then they'll probably start the storylines officially next week. They hinted at kind of what's going on in a second here, because then they showed Sasha being interviewed backstage about Bianca. She's like, oh, Bianca, and then she's just like really pissed off, so pissed off she can't get a sentence together, and then she storms out of the interview. I think we went commercial and then came back from commercial to the Bayley interview here. And Bayley's like, Tam, they showed replay of Cesaro hitting the UFO. They were showing replay of Cesaro hitting the UFO the whole night, by the way. So good shit. They showed Cesaro hitting the UFO, and she's like, yeah, whatever, impressive. But what about Sasha? She's so angry she can't even put a sentence together. And while I was busy trying to save WrestleMania, Bianca was out there crying before her match, and you know why? Because she didn't think she could win. And she's out there cutting this, she's out there being all arrogant and stuff now. Is that the champion you want? Nah, the right thing is for me to challenge and win the title, pretty much, is what she said. So it looks like we're going to do Bayley and Bianca again. I would say, hey, give other people a chance, but they let go the rest of the women's roster. So you don't got anybody else, fucking Vince McMahon. But anyways, that's for the other video. Don't worry, I kind of creeped out a little bit, but yeah, man, what a deep division over on SmackDown, dude. 4 people. What a deep fucking division, man. It's not like you had really talented people in it that you let go for no reason. That you said there were budget cuts, but you fucking reported net profits last year, you pieces of shit. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we had Dirty Dogs defending their tag titles against the Street Profits. They had a good match for the time that they were allotted. They had a false finish where Montez hits the frog splash on Rude. Dolph Ziggler comes in for the save. Dawkins comes in. Ziggler clotheslines Dawkins out. Montez gets Dolph Ziggler out. Montez starts beating Rude in the corner. When the ref breaks for the 5 count on the beatdown, Dolph, who is on the floor, gets up real quick, tags Rude, and then gets back down so Montez doesn't see him. Ref does see it, though, so it's a legal tag. It counts. Montez takes Rude to the other corner as he's chasing down Rude in the other corner. Boom, zigzag out of nowhere, and the Dirty Dogs retain their tag team championships. The match was good. I like them not putting the titles back on the Street Profits because, again, the Street Profits don't really need it right now. In a similar situation to Raw, though, it's kind of weird. Granted, yeah, they didn't even really put over on the programming. I'm not sure if commentary said it and I just didn't notice. They didn't really put it over that Street Profits got the tag title shot because they did the work for the win last week and then Profits just took the pin from them. They didn't put that over. That wasn't in their promo or anything like that, unless I missed it. You know what I mean? So they didn't explain why the title match is happening. And at the same time, if you're going to have Street Profits lose clean, why not have them lose clean to Otis and Gable or Ray and Dominic to put them over as a tag team instead of doing a singles match in that, you know what I mean? So it is a little bit of a waste of a Profits clean loss, in my opinion, because they just defended their titles last week, the Dirty Dogs, you know what I mean? They could have either built to Profits a few weeks from now or something or whatever, but having them win this or lose this quickly out, just a small complaint from me regarding that. But other than that, I'm good with the Dirty Dogs retaining. I don't think the Profits need the tag titles right now. Because if you put the tag titles on the Profits like on SmackDown last night, then you kind of have to switch them again in relatively short fashion, which you probably shouldn't do. So yeah. But anyways, that's fine. We had a Cesaro backstage interview where he says where he was asked about what Paul Heyman said. He says, I agree with Paul Heyman. I got long arms. I look like a Neanderthal. I got buck tooth, but he's wrong about one thing. I do belong in the ring with Roman, and I'm going to show it tonight against his cousin, Jey Uso. And then they show footage of Roman, Heyman, and Jey backstage reacting as commentary puts it over before they go to commercial. Then they have Shayna versus Natalia. It was fine, but it kind of seems like they lack chemistry, which is surprising to me because I had thought, and I think I said in the review, and I said it in the Discord call, join the Discord server, by the way, link in the description, during Mania, that I would love to just see in a tag match if they just gave the whole match to like Shayna and Natty, because I think they could do a really good job. And they didn't really get time to do that, and also the chemistry wasn't really there fully. There were a couple like sloppy moments, but that's fine, I guess, because this feud there's no heat to this feud at all, because it's Tamina and Nia, and nobody gives a fuck. They didn't give a fuck at Survivor Series all those years ago when they tried to act like there was their Hogan and Andre. Nobody cares. You both suck. Fuck off. Of all the people who got let go, and those two are still there, fuck me, bro. Fuck off. Holy shit. Anyways, the match was fine. Nia went up on the apron to distract from a sharpshooter, and Shayna does get out of it. However, Shayna, upon getting out of it, gets pushed into the apron. She stops herself, and she's like, whoa, and then Nia's like, whoa, and then Natty goes, hits Shayna into Nia. Roll up 1, 2, 3. Natty pins Shayna. So once again, somebody who should be at the top of your women's division is eating pins every week in meaningless throwaway matches to protect Nia Jax. So Vince McMahon will not see heaven, but we knew that already. I feel like if you beat God in a wrestling match in 2006, I think that, even other stuff, even countersuing a grieving widow, even though you were negligent in somebody's death, you know what I mean? For that alone, he's not going to see heaven. For shit he did in the 80s and 90s, he's not going to see heaven. For anything up until then, he wasn't going to see heaven. But if it wasn't guaranteed from anything he did before 2006, you know what I mean? I feel like defeating God in a wrestling match kind of closes the doors, it closes the gates of heaven to you, Vince. So, and then you beat him over Mania weekend again with the weather. So 2-0, brother, 2-0, the new undefeated streak, bro. All right. Yeah, it was shit. The whole women's tag shit. The whole women's tag stuff is shit, and it's even more shit because you released like half of your women on the main roster. So it's not even like you can do all these makeshift tag teams because half the people that were in them are fucking gone. Like, oh, fucking oy vey, bro. Fucking holy shit. Just scrap the women's tag titles, man. Just scrap the women's tag titles or fucking start treating the division seriously. But I know they're never going to start treating it seriously, so just scrap the titles. All you're doing is creating fucking hurdles for your booking of the other titles. Because all it is, oh, we have a women's tag feud for the have them in a fucking can they coexist bullshit for the tag titles because we want to make them feel important, but we don't actually make them feel important because we don't book them well. Fucking piece of shit, Vince McMahon. Anyways, we had a Jay backstage promo. Just shit. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Just shit. By the way, Nia has two different characters, I guess. She has a SmackDown character. She has a Raw character. The Raw character is about embarrassing herself every week, I guess, is what they're going to do with the Mandy stuff. And then on SmackDown, no embarrassing on SmackDown. She's not the same person on SmackDown. By the way, once again, Raw versus SmackDown singles match for what is not a tag team title match, blah, blah, blah. You have Buddy Murphy on your fucking roster. You have Shinsuke Nakamura on your fucking roster. You have Bryan and Edge on your roster. Granted, they were probably trying to sell Roman destroying them by having them not at SmackDown this week, which I'm fine with, but you have Buddy Murphy on your fucking roster. You've got Aleister Black on your SmackDown roster. You've got, like I said, Shinsuke on your SmackDown roster. You'd rather do a pointless interpromotional match that shouldn't be happening, that does fucking nothing for goddamn dead tag titles, than having Buddy Murphy on your fucking show, than having fucking Shinsuke Nakamura on your show, than having Aleister Black on your show. Apparently Aleister Black has some minor injuries that he's been healing. Also, apparently he shot a bunch of vignettes recently, so we'll have to wait and see if those come out. But like, how are you going to put this on and not anybody else on your roster? It's just like mind-boggling. It's so fucking mind-boggling. Anyways, we had a Jay backstage promo alongside Roman and stuff where he says, he disrespected, the tribal chief, blah, blah, blah. Tonight he'll show him why he's called Main Event Jey Uso, blah, 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 blah. Roman says, you heard him, now he's going to show you. And then we get Cesaro versus Jay. We get Seth attacking Jay. Not Jay. Did I write Jay? I did write Jay. The match started, I think 20 minutes away from the finish. So we got a decent time on the match. The match was good for the time that they were allotted. Seth came in and attacked Cesaro briefly before leaving the ring while Cesaro was doing a swing on, or setting up for the swing, I guess, on Jay. So, yeah, a lot of people, I was checking Twitter before I went to sleep for like a few minutes, and then this morning, a lot of people hated it. It's underwhelming, but I don't hate it, and I'll tell you why. I don't think Cesaro should just be another person that Roman beats. If they do Cesaro immediately into, immediately into Roman, and they follow through and they do the pay-per-view match, Cesaro has to lose. Cesaro has to be one of the people Roman beats in his title reign. And I don't think Cesaro should be that. I like them putting Cesaro and Roman together. I like them elevating Cesaro's perception into being in that stratosphere with Roman Reigns, because Roman, like I said, or like Paul Heyman said, essentially beat two Hall of Famers in a handicap, right? You can spin it that way. You can, technically. As a heel, you can spin it any way you want, and they're going to spin it that way. He defeated two Hall of Famers, stacked them, smashed them, stacked them, pinned them. They acknowledged him at WrestleMania, right? So them putting Cesaro as somebody who is challenging him is good, because by association, you're like, oh shit, okay, Cesaro's good. Even though Roman ignored him, he went toe-to-toe with Jay, and them just being in the same stratosphere, them doing the showdown, blah, 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 it puts him in that, same breath. Here, the thing is, if they would have just done WrestleMania Backlash and it was just Roman beats Cesaro, oh well. On to the next one. Cesaro got his little main event push, blah, blah, blah. He didn't get the big one, whatever, right? I wouldn't want that for Cesaro, personally. So I am fine with them extending, that's the word that I'm looking for. I'm fine with them extending Cesaro and Seth. Cesaro gets another win over Seth. Boom. He's even more of a made man because that's 2 clean wins over one of the most protected guys in the company, right? The issue that I have, and I don't care about I don't think that the DQ finish is bad. I saw a comment on Twitter to WWE's official post, and the comment was, they can't even give Cesaro a clean win while pushing him. SMH. He just beat Seth fucking Rollins clean at WrestleMania, you fucking moronic piece of shit. They gave him a huge clean win. Seth not being done with Cesaro makes sense because guess what? Seth didn't want to be embarrassed again. Seth wanted to pay him back for embarrassing him. Seth lost. He's a heel. He will not want to be done with Cesaro. It makes sense. Him attacking Cesaro during what could potentially be, in kayfabe, Cesaro's launching point to the main event makes sense. If you embarrassed me and I'm a heel and I see you minutes away from defeating somebody that could get you a match with Roman Reigns for the Universal title, as a heel who is still embarrassed, who still has not gotten my shit back from you, or, paid you back, whatever, I'm going to go out there and be like, no, fuck you, you're not doing that. I'm going to stop it. Him getting involved makes sense. The DQ finish isn't the end of the world. Also, thinking long term, they can do Cesaro and Jay again when they're ready to pull the trigger with Cesaro and Roman, and hopefully have Cesaro win the title from Roman at SummerSlam, right? They can do Jay and Cesaro again without it being without reason. Because when Cesaro is done with Seth again, Cesaro, puts down Seth again, whatever, then he can be like, hey, I got him out of the way. Jay, you and I have unfinished business. There wasn't a winner. There wasn't a good actual winner to our match from however long ago. I'm fucking you up. Boom. You have that match already booked for you because you didn't get a clean finish this time, right? So people are like, oh, what a shitty finish, blah, blah, blah. Really? A heel ruins something for a babyface? Wow. That makes no sense. No, it makes sense. It's not the way they did it. I can see being upset with because it was an underwhelming interference. Because Seth comes in, he kind of does a flurry of offense, I guess, on Cesaro. Then he leaves and Cesaro gets right back up because it wasn't big moves, it wasn't a curb stomp, it wasn't whatever. He just kind of like unloads punches and strikes on him and shit. And then he leaves, and then from the ramp he's like, "Oh, I'm not done with you. This is over when I say it's over," which is good. So Seth doing that makes sense. He's a heel and he felt embarrassed. He's gonna still want to fucking go with Cesaro. You know what I mean? It's not a shoot fight where it's not the UFC, right? You shouldn't. If you want professional wrestling matches to be booked in a storyline like UFC matches, like a shoot, stop watching pro wrestling. If you want to see one match, if you never want to see a duplicate match ever, stop watching wrestling. It's wrestling. There's going to be duplicate matches. If they do it over and over again, then yeah. There's a problem there, right? With no reason, obviously. But if you're gonna go out and complain and be like, oh, what a shit finish, they're doing Seth and Cesaro again, blah 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 blah. Do you want Cesaro to just go job to Roman? Which again isn't bad because it doesn't bury Cesaro, but Cesaro has a lot of fanfare. He always has, but now that they're actually showing glimmers and glimpses of actually pushing him, the fanfare keeps rising. Because when you have somebody that a lot of people are behind, and then you're like, oh, okay, we're going to give them more, and then more people are like, oh, shit. Yo, hey, you who hasn't watched wrestling in 5 years, you remember Cesaro? Yeah, they're finally pushing him. Oh, shit, I'm going to watch. And then boom, 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 it grows, the fanfare grows, whatever. I'm going on a tangent here, in some capacity, I guess. Basically, just to get back on track, I don't hate the finish. The way that Seth did his shit was underwhelming. I would have preferred if Seth went in, did the curb stomp, maybe even got a weapon, beat the fuck out of him with the weapon, and then said his promo that he said from the top of the ramp in the ring to his face, like grabbing his head in his hand, like, hey, blah, 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 you know, I'm not done with you, blah, 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 and then maybe hit another curb stomp at the end of what he's saying to, like, as an exclamation point, right? I would have preferred that. But the DQ finish, I'm not mad at. And again, I think this goes back to wanting wrestling to be booked like a shoot. Don't watch wrestling, because it's not a fucking shoot. It's not the UFC. It's not Bellator. It's not whatever fucking other promotions are out there for MMA. It's professional wrestling. It's storylines. And guess what? A heel who feels embarrassed, to say it again, will not let the babyface just move on with their life on their merry, happy way just because they won clean. They're not. It's a heel. They're not going to be like, oh, yeah, you beat me. Fair enough, bro. Yep. Cool. Especially some heels, yeah, fair. But Seth's the type of heel that Seth is playing is not going to just sit there and be like, hey, he beat me, dude. Hey, everybody, he beat me. Okay, let's embrace the vision, though, because, like, he beat me fair and square, right? So, like, I'm going to just cool, right? No. His whole thing was, oh, he embarrassed me. I'm going to beat him so bad at Mania that he won't embarrass me again. Guess what? He lost at Mania. That's him being embarrassed again. He got swung 23 times instead of 22. That's Seth being embarrassed again. When the whole crux of the rivalry is Seth not wanting to be embarrassed and he gets embarrassed again, he's going to have a problem with it. So it makes sense. And once again, if I am a heel, right, in professional wrestling, if I am a heel and somebody who I am not done with is about to move on from me and get a world title shot, potentially, I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to go cause the DQ. Of course I am. I'm a heel. I don't give a fuck about the program and what the fuck the company wants and what the fans want and this and that. You know what I mean? So, I really don't understand the, oh, what a shit finish. Oh, can't give him a clean win. They literally did it Mania against one of the most protected people. I must remind you, they were putting him over the whole night with the UFO clip. That, like, if this was any other storyline, I would probably say, I would probably be less. I would be defending the booking less if this was another storyline. But the fact that Roman is involved leads me to be optimistic, because Roman's stuff on Smackdown since his heel turn has been consistently good. And there seems to be some actual plan with Roman Reigns. So if Cesaro is part of that plan, I'm willing to be optimistic. And again, I don't like how they did the interference. I will say that again. They should have had it a more impactful interference. Curb stomps. Say your promo to his face in the ring. Another curb stomp. End off the show. Mouthing off again. Whatever. That's fine. But the fact that it's a DQ finish, I don't mind it. It is and again, because of the way they did it, it's underwhelming. You know what I mean? Because they were building up Cesaro the whole night with the UFO stuff, and then he has the match, and then it ends with like a very weak interference, right? The interference itself, I don't see why you would be too upset at that. The fact that it was just a quick, hey, I'm going to lightly beat you down a little bit and then scurry away. Yeah, no, it should have been a full-on interference, beatdown, whatever. And if that's the complaint, then sure. But the people who are like, oh, they can't even give him a clean win while pushing him, dude, wow. Again, fucking, 6 days ago? At the time of the comment, 5 days ago? Your memory doesn't go back 5 days in the past? Let's give you 6 to fucking, yeah, like, did you not watch Mania? Did you not see Cesaro win clean? Like, did you not see Cesaro get 2 clean wins over Bryan in the build-up to Chamber and Mania and Rumble? Like, Did you not see Cesaro get like tag team wins in the build up to Chamber? And did you not see Cesaro getting clean wins this whole time that they've been slowly pushing him since Rumble? Are you choosing to exclude those, or because he's gotten a bunch of clean wins over top fucking guys? Like fuck. Yeah, I just don't see the outrage. I don't understand the outrage at the choice to have the interference, because Cesaro being held off to be the guy that beats Roman is good. Because here's the thing, right? This gives you leeway to have Roman duck Cesaro until he can't duck him. You keep building Cesaro while you keep having Roman look strong and defending, to the point where it gets like, hey, Cesaro's won everything, blah, blah, blah. There you go. An alternative is have Roman duck Cesaro, disagree to fight him, and then have Cesaro win the Money in the Bank and be like, hey, can't deny me now. And then boom, It would make sense storyline wise. I wouldn't personally do that, because it would be another year where one of the Money in the Banks is gone almost instantly. And I don't mean a same night cash in, but Money in the Bank, I think the first pay-per-view after Money in the Bank is SummerSlam, right? So it would be pretty much an immediate cash in. I hate them. They've overdone them in recent years because they don't know how to book somebody with Money in the Bank. But yeah, man, I don't see the outrage at the DQ. I really don't. It lets you do Cesaro and Jay with a valid reason in the future. It advances Seth and Cesaro, which makes sense, and it will continue to build Cesaro, because another clean win over Seth is huge. You know what I mean? It can put over Cesaro that Roman is avoiding him if you go that way with it. The way the interference was played out was weak. The fact that they did the interference, I don't have a problem with. Yeah, I don't know. I just saw a lot of people thinking it was like awful booking and this and that. It's not. It's not. If you don't want interferences in wrestling, and if you don't want this and that in wrestling, don't watch wrestling. Go watch UFC. It's cool. You want to shoot fight, go watch the shoot fight. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't have interferences in every match of the card every week like it's 1997, 1998, whatever. Like, yeah, that's not great from a wrestling point of view. Absolutely not. But once again, there is a storyline that is already in place. Seth has motivations that make sense to do it. Why wouldn't he do it? Oh, because the fans don't want a DQ finish? Fuck, what? You know what I mean? Like, whatever. That is my review. Let's say it wasn't the best SmackDown. It was better than Raw. Raw was fucking boring as shit. I'll give it maybe like a 7 out of 10, just because it wasn't that great. I mean, you had the Shayna and Natalia stuff. You had maybe an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7.5 out of 10. I think I'll give SmackDown this week. It wasn't bad. It's just, it wasn't, they're obviously kind of starting new in some ways. You know what I mean? Obviously, like I said, they're doing the Seth and Cesaro stuff still, which makes sense. I feel like maybe thinking about it again, Dirty Dogs defending against Profits is a way of them kind of being like, okay, refresh the tag division. Not in the sense that they're going to break anybody up, but just being like, hey, look, they defended against them. Their kind of claim to wanting a rematch is done now. We can move forward with Dirty Dogs defending against new people or losing to new people, right? So I just hit my desk by accident. I don't know if that got picked up by the mic, but yeah. 7.5 out of 10, I think. Decent SmackDown. You know what I mean? A couple problems here and there, but what wrestling show doesn't have a couple problems here and there? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. that is my SmackDown review. Once again, let me know what you guys thought of the review. Not of the review. Well, let me know what you thought of the review if you want. But let me know what you thought of SmackDown down in the comments below. Do you agree with my rating of 7 to 7.5 out of 10? Or do you disagree? Do you agree with certain points or disagree? Let me know all that shit down in the comments. It's always nice to hear other opinions on the wrestling. I might shit on them, like that fucking stupid ass fucking they can't give them a clean win bullshit, because it's just not true. But it's nice to hear them. So yeah, man. If this is the first video that you're watching, I got other shit on the channel. It's primarily wrestling gameplay based, specifically my SmackDown vs. Raw GM mode series. I'm doing 2006 right now, so if you'd like to see how I book wrestling in those games, you can do so, as well as other games that are just more commentary based. You know what I'm saying? If you want to join the Discord server, link in the description. Follow me on Twitter, link in the description. Please sponsor me Peace Tea, obligatory sponsor me gimmick. Gotta get that in there. Be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss an episode, because YouTube likes to zuck your boy and not put my videos on your sub boxes. So by pressing the nice old bell icon, you will get a push notification anytime I do upload, and you'll never have to miss it. And yeah, man, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, share it to all your friends, comment down below, all that good shit. And I'll see you guys next time.
We are number one.